Hey everyone. So today we're at the hospital, Children's Hospital. I'm here with my second oldest, Carden. He had to get a biopsy today on his heart. If you don't know, he had a heart transplant when he was 10 months. About around that time, that was like 2015, about around that time that we found out, because he wasn't eating and he wasn't acting like his normal self. So basically all he wanted to do was sleep. He was crying all the time and he didn't want to drink his bottles. We ended up taking him to the hospital, our local hospital in Pontiac. We ended up taking him. The doctor basically told me when I took him to that hospital, the doctor told me that it was an ear infection and a sore throat, to follow up with his pediatrician. The next day, honestly, I wasn't going to follow up with his pediatrician. I was just going to take, what they said it was, because they're doctors. They knew what they was talking about. The only reason why I ended up following up is because his dad came home about 11 o'clock a.m. He went to work at 6 in the morning, came home at 11. And the job that his dad was working for at the time, he was a garbage truck driver. So, that comes with late hours. His dad normally don't get off of work till about 7 in the afternoon. So he ended up getting off work this one day at 11. And I'm like, why are you off work so early? He like, I don't know. They just sent me home. So I'm like, this got to be a sign. So let me take my son to the hospital. So I end up taking my son, not to the hospital, to his pediatrician. I end up taking my son to this pediatrician. As soon as his pediatrician seen him, she didn't even take him to the back. Like, we literally walked through the door, met with her right there, and she said, take him back to the hospital, to the pediatric floor. I'm on my way. She was like, don't stop nowhere. Take him directly up there. I went up there. I sat up there with him about 2 hours. They run tests on him. Come to find out, they did an x-ray. They found fluid in his lungs. About 20 minutes after that test, he started having seizures. They had to rush him down to Children's Hospital. His dad rode down with him because I couldn't bear to even look at him like that. I couldn't stomach it. Like, all I was doing was crying. So at that point, when it comes to a mother and a father, a mother seemed to love their kids a little bit more because we carried them. So it's like I couldn't stomach it. All I kept thinking was like, oh my God, what's wrong with my child? I'm going to lose my child. The dad was trying to keep me, trying to tell me to stay strong, but it was no way I could. And I was pregnant at the time with my third child. So his dad rode down there with them. I rode with my mom. We rode down there to Children's. When we got there, they set us like in a room because they was doing like so many tests on Carden, trying to figure out like what's going on, why is he doing, like what's going on with him, why he's having these seizures, like why he's not eating or anything like that. While we was waiting, I said we was probably waiting at least probably like 3 to 4 hours. A doctor finally came and talked to me, my mom, and his dad. And they told us, well, we almost lost your son on the way here. That right there, that just broke me down completely. Then they told us that my son was having heart and liver failure. His liver was failing because his heart was failing. I lost it completely. And I could say honestly, the whole time Carden been in the hospital, that was the first time I seen his father cry. And we just literally just cried together, crying like honestly, we're gonna lose our child. That's all we thought about. Like, we're gonna lose our child. Why this happening to us? We love our kids. Like, what's going on? We kept blaming ourselves, like what we did wrong, like why we didn't see this or anything like this. But during birth, when I had him, he was healthy. So it's like, how did this come about? The doctor told me, honestly, if I didn't bring Carden in the time that I did, the next day my son would not have been here. So if I would have never took that as a sign as his dad getting off work early and taking my son to his pediatrician, and I would have just ignored it and kept my son here at home, they told me I would have woke up and my son would not have been here. So Now, like, dealing with this, he take medication, so his heart his body would never reject his heart. He go get checkups up at the cardiologist about every 2 months. He got to get biopsies done on his heart every month to make sure his levels in his heart are good, so they know that his body's not rejecting his heart. As far as the medicine, he have to take that medicine for the rest of his life. If he miss a dose, don't take it, it could result in him having to get another transplant. Cardin was 10 months when he got his transplant. He was in a hospital he got out the hospital 2 months after that. Before he got his transplant, he was on a machine called the Berlin heart. That was basically doing what his heart couldn't do for him. So like one side of his heart was pumping just fine, but the other side of his heart wasn't. So it was working for the other side. So he was on that before he got his transplant. Cardin went into the hospital literally June 26, 2015. He got his heart transplant July 31st. I remember getting a call after my birthday. My birthday is July 29th. I got that call the 30th of July saying they found the heart. I rushed down there. And he got his transplant later on that day of the 30th, but they didn't finish it until the 31st. I remember him being in the hospital. I did not leave the hospital not one time. Remind you guys, I was pregnant. I did not leave. I canceled all my doctor's appointments, everything. I was not leaving until my son opened his eyes that day. Finally, when he opened his eyes and I seen that smile and I seen him kicking, I seen him playing, I was like, okay, now I could go check on my baby. But the doctors and nurse was like, just go. He's fine. You got to go check on the little one that's in your stomach. I'm not leaving. My OBGYN understood. He said, whenever you good with leaving the hospital, just schedule another appointment. We will see you as soon as possible. I did not leave. And the most time I've been away from the hospital is when I had my baby, because I literally had to wait till my 6 weeks. They would not let me come up here to see him. They was like, you cannot come up here. You come up here, we're going to turn you back around. Honestly say that I love Children's Hospital because they treated us like family. They didn't sugarcoat anything. They let me know what was going on. Even though they noticed I would cry after I hear what they said, they still didn't sugarcoat it. They was like, you have to know. They treated Cardin like with love and respect. Cardin loved them. Every time a doctor walk in the room, a nurse walk in the room, he would just smile. They played with him. I remember one of the nurses, when Cardin was a baby, they gave Cardin their cell phone and he was watching YouTube. So I love Children's Hospital. So they made our stay here so much easy. So like we're here now. Cardin had to get a biopsy on his heart to make sure his heart is not rejecting. After his biopsy, he normally get like an EKG so they can make sure everything good. And then he normally get his labs drawn. So I will be taking videos of that so you guys can see like how it go. As of right now, we just waiting. I guess we're waiting for anesthesia so they can come talk to us. And then they're gonna take him up to his room where they do his procedure. If you don't know like how they do the procedure, they like go in his inner thigh, or like with a small tube, and it got like a little clamp at the end. They'll go inside his inner thigh and take it all the way up, and then they'll take a small piece of his heart, and they'll see if his level's good from that, or they'll see if his body's rejecting his heart. But out of the years that they did, it was never no problem. Everything always come back great. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem today. You think everything gonna be good, Cardi? Yeah. But I will take videos, as much videos as I can, so you guys can see that too. All right, so he's all done with his procedure. Everything went well. His levels was great. His heart is doing fine. His body is not rejecting. As of right now, as you can see, he's out of it. The anesthesia got him gone. So they just wait for him to wake up. Once he wake up, they would like for him to drink and they would like for him to eat something, and then he can go home. They say about 3 o'clock we be getting up out of here. So I'm just waiting for someone to come down and do his EKG on his echo on his heart. And once they do that, like I said, it's just a waiting game, waiting for him to wake up from the anesthesia. Okay, first step is Cardin have to go get his blood draw. You scared? Not. He's a pro at it. Then he gotta get an EKG on his heart, and then he have to get an echo. So I'll be recording them so you guys can see how he do.
Ball it up. Maybe touch this needles. Why are these even still in there? Oh, we took all these out.
You got a nice vein on the side.
Well, no, bleeding.
Which one? You see
You
one?
see that?
Yeah,
Right there.
Yeah, I'm bleeding.
That sucker's huge. All right, I think that's where we're going. You just gotta, it's awkward the way you. Here, lean on back, push him back some, man. Sit,
Just go back some, baby.
Go back some.
Yep.
Baby. It's Kaden, right?
Carter.
Carter.
Hey,
Yep, and leave your arm just like this was Miss Shanice, okay? Honestly, Shanice. Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, right here, though.
Stop touching it.
okay.
Okay, just like that. Now where my new needle go? I'll put it on there. Yeah.
You want to draw blood when you grow up? Because you touch it.
I don't know. You'd be nervous trying to poke kids at first. You think you want to do it? There you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Getting his echo on his heart. And this is how it's done. You do pretty good. You were nice enough to give Franklin a birthday card. This is his birthday coming up on the 16th. How did your appointment go?
Good.
Good. Healthy heart?